What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all. Make sure you get notified of all our latest content on this channel. So without further ado, let's get into this one. So yesterday, last evening, I think about what? Let's say, I don't know, it came on about 10 o'clock in our time over here in the UK. We had the press conference for Saturday night's big fight, the heavyweight boys. We've got Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. This is the third installment of the fight. As we all know, first fight ended in a draw, very controversial. Tyson Fury winning most of the rounds, but suffering some heavy knockdowns in the fight. You know, suffered in early on, I think, round 4 or whatever it was, and suffered a big one in the 12th, and that miraculous comeback, comes back, wins the round. We have the second fight. Tyson Fury just basically bombs Deontay Wilder out, beats him up, and now we're looking at the third fight, which could have took place back in July. Tyson Fury gets COVID. Some say no, that's fake, but whatever, that's the official story. And now here we are. Here we are in October, looking forward to October the 9th. So, yeah, we had this press conference. There was, I would say it was quite a lively press conference. Pretty typical stuff, you know, the promoters talk their stuff, and we got all these preliminary business and whatnot. And, from Deontay Wilder's side of things, he was sort of a bit solemn. You could tell that from his side of things, he wasn't trying to do too much talking. He wasn't trying to do too much like smack talking or trash talking. He was just quite calm, pretty solemn. I would say it was only really when sort of Tyson Fury started riling up and started doing his normal thing, walking around the stage. And, you know, Tyson Fury, he kind of made this press conference his own in a way, because he does this thing. He's like a he's like a kind of preacher or something, or one of these politics. You know, he just walks around the stage, and he's an entertainer and everything. And he was walking around, you know, calling Wilder a dosser and saying, you know, you got beat twice already. You got beat up the first time. You got battered the second time. Wilder was retorting, saying that no, you still couldn't knock me out. I was in my worst state. You know, you still didn't knock me out. Blah blah blah. Fury's like no, you got knocked out. You're bomb. Blah blah blah. So yeah, there was a bit of back and forth there, and that was really what sort of got Wilder to sort of speak. And you know, Fury brought up some important stuff, and he addressed the accusations that, of course, there's a lot of YouTubers throwing these accusations out. There's loads of videos on YouTube with people accusing him of tampering with his gloves. Wilder, Fury cleverly brought up all the excuses. He said, you know, your costume was too heavy. You know, you complained about your costume. If you had just one excuse, maybe that would be believable, but you come up with 50 excuses. Your costume was too heavy. Some of your own team spiked your water. I put, knuckle dusters in my gloves. Blah blah blah. You come up with all these 50 excuses, and you can't accept the defeat. You can't accept the fact that you lost, and you're gonna just lose again. You've got no chance. Blah blah blah. And you know that was going back and forth. Wilder, to his credit, was, you know, just sort of remaining calm, trying to. Some say that he was, his intention, and yeah, I can kind of see truth to this, that it seemed like his intention wasn't really to do much talking. He wasn't really intending to like have a big argument with Fury and sort of try and win an argument. He seemed to come there with a purpose, try and be quiet, try and be focused and whatnot. But I think Fury definitely sort of touched a nerve with Wilder. He said, yeah, why did you change all your team? Why did you change your team? If I beat you by cheating, why did you do all this extra training? And, you know, calling him out for, you know, changing to Malik Scott, calling Malik Scott a loser and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it was entertaining. I think Fury definitely touched a nerve with Wilder. And as many have pointed out in the past, these accusations that Wilder's made against Fury, they are kind of baseless. None of them have been proven. The way that he fired Mark Breland was out of order as well, because Mark Breland saved him to fight another day. Who knows what happens if he would have continued in that fight? Because all he would have done is just continued taking a worse beating, and the last thing we want is Wilder to have like brain damage or suffer any severe injuries. He had the bleeding from the ear in the second fight. So for him to get rid of Breland, and Tyson also bring up a good point that you fired Mark Breland, but JD's was in the room with me smiling and giggling and laughing, yet you keep him on, the man who watched me get my hands bandaged, and if I did cheat, he was in the room and he was in on it. So you fired a man that wasn't there, that done the right thing and pulled you out of the fight because you're getting battered, and then you keep on the man who was actually in my changing room watching me get bandaged. So if I did cheat, then that you kept on the man that watched me cheat, and you kept that man there, and you got rid of the good man who was a good boxer and showing you good things. And yeah, I think that's definitely a valid point. And as far as what effect this press conference has on the fight, I'm not too sure that it does as much effect really. I think the fact that Wilder seems to sort of still believe in the excuses that he made, he still believes that Tyson Fury only won because he was cheating. I think if he's that naive, and he goes into the fight with that kind of mindset, then I think that might be dangerous for him. I think that might be dangerous for him. I think if he goes into the fight with that mindset that, oh, he only beat me because he cheated, then that might mean he's not looking at what he could have done better, at what he's done wrong. So if that's his whole focus on that, he thinks it's a cheating going on and Tyson Fury can't beat him, it's just cheating, then I think that could be dangerous for him, because I think if that's what he thinks, then he's underestimating Tyson Fury. And if he's underestimating Tyson Fury, then it'll make it an easier night for Tyson Fury, because he'll just be able to probably do the same thing he done in the second fight, because the man's underestimating you, and you're going to get the same shock to your system you got the second time. But hopefully that's not the way Deontay Wilder's thinking. I think the same with Fury. Nothing wrong with the confidence he's got. It's brilliant to see a confident fighter, and he believes in himself, and he even seemed, to me, Fury seemed attitude wise, he seemed to be irritated. I think those accusations Wilder made against him, although he does believe they're false, and most people do, I think they still do bother him, because he brought them up, and I think he did seem irritated at the press conference. Still the same confident Tyson Fury, but I think he was definitely bothered. He's bothered by what Deontay Wilder's and his team have claimed, and but it was entertaining, a very entertaining press conference. Fury, as I said, he said JD's was in on it. Look, and Shelley Finkel was whispering in Wilder's ear during the press conference. He goes, "Yeah, go on, Shelley, tell him what to do, tell him what to say," and it all kind of, Tyson Fury's good at thinking on the fly, and I think as far as the mind games go and stuff like that, the talking game, Tyson Fury's definitely on top in that. And Wilder's just sort of solemn and quiet. Still, he seems like there seems to be a little bit of nerves there with Wilder, but I think I do see sort of self-belief in him. I think he does believe in himself, and I reckon Wilder does believe that he can win this fight. He's still got that mindset that he thinks, right, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna come out on top here. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on the press conference. Was quite interesting, quite entertaining, worth a watch. And yeah, let me know who you think is gonna win this fight on Saturday night. And till next time, it's MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you soon.